Tensions are mounting across the Middle East. In Tehran, lawmakers are openly calling for a nuclear weapon. In Vienna, the UN's nuclear chief hails a fragile new deal with Iran. And in Doha, Israeli airstrikes kill Hamas leaders in the heart of Qatar, sparking outrage from Iran, Egypt, and beyond. Three stories, intertwined: nuclear ambitions, regional diplomacy, and the threat of widening war. This is VERTEX, and we break down what's at stake. A senior Iranian lawmaker has reignited debate over the country's nuclear path, urging Tehran to pursue an atomic weapon after years of costly disputes with the West. Ahmad Bakhshayesh, a member of Parliament's National Security Committee, told state media this week that Iran had already paid the costs of its nuclear program during a 12-day conflict with Israel and the United States in June. He argued that the country should have pursued a bomb long ago and compared Iran's situation to China, which conducted its first nuclear test decades before joining the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, or NPT.
I've always believed we should have built it long ago. I've always supported building a nuclear bomb because we've already paid the cost for it. We should have built it without leaving the NPT. We've been entangled in this nuclear issue in our country for 25 years now.
Iran, for its part, continues to insist its nuclear program is strictly peaceful. Yet, pressure is mounting. France, Germany, and the United Kingdom recently triggered a snapback mechanism under the 2015 nuclear deal, giving Tehran 30 days to comply with limits or face renewed international sanctions. Within Iran, some lawmakers have proposed leaving the NPT altogether, with a bill now under review in Parliament. Others caution that the ultimate decision lies with Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. At the same time, international diplomacy continues. In Cairo, UN nuclear chief Rafael Grossi and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi signed an agreement aimed at resuming cooperation. Araghchi later described the deal as recognizing Iran's security concerns, but he emphasized it does not automatically reopen facilities to inspectors. European powers remain skeptical. Britain, France, and Germany issued a joint statement on Wednesday, warning of insufficient clarity on Iran's stockpile of uranium enriched close to weapons grade. They said Tehran must demonstrate compliance if it wants to avoid further penalties. For now, Iran's nuclear trajectory remains unsettled, with internal calls for a weapons program confronting external demands for transparency. Iran has agreed to a new cooperation framework with the International Atomic Energy Agency, though Tehran says it has not yet granted inspectors access to its nuclear sites. The deal, signed in Cairo by Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi, follows months of suspended cooperation after the June conflict with Israel and the United States. At that time, Iranian officials said strikes on nuclear facilities made routine inspections impossible. Speaking in Tunis on September 10th, Araghchi said future cooperation with the agency would follow the new framework. He added that the IAEA had recognized changing realities on the ground, requiring updated procedures. While stressing that no immediate access has been provided beyond the Bushehr nuclear plant, he said further discussions would determine the type of access at a later stage.
Currently, no access is given to the IAEA inspectors, apart from the Bushehr nuclear plant. He added that, based on the reports that Iran will provide later, the type of access should be negotiated in due course.
Grossi, addressing the IAEA's Board of Governors in Vienna, described the agreement as a clear understanding of inspection procedures covering all facilities in Iran, including those damaged in recent strikes. He acknowledged challenges remain, but emphasized that both sides now share a roadmap for cooperation.
Iran and the agency will now resume cooperation in a respectful and comprehensive way. Practical steps need to be implemented now. There may be difficulties and issues to be resolved for sure, but we now know what we have to do.
Iran's foreign minister reiterated that cooperation would end if hostile actions resumed, including the reinstatement of United Nations sanctions. Britain, France and Germany have already begun steps to reimpose those measures, citing Tehran's lack of compliance with the 2015 nuclear deal. A senior French diplomat said access for inspectors must be restored quickly to reassure the international community about the nature of Iran's program. Beyond the nuclear issue, Araghchi condemned Israeli military actions across the region, including a recent strike in Qatar that killed members of Hamas and a Qatari officer. He urged Muslim states to cut political and economic ties with Israel, calling regional unity essential for stability. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has condemned Israel's recent strike on Hamas leaders in Qatar, calling it a blatant violation of international norms and a threat to regional stability. In a phone call with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, he said, Israel's actions showed disregard for legal frameworks and emphasized the need for a firm and united stance from the Islamic community to prevent further attacks.
The Islamic Republic of Iran stands alongside its brothers in Qatar and will take any necessary step to support its close neighbor and friend. Islamic countries must, with a united and consistent position, both in word and deed, seriously and effectively condemn these aggressions and blatant crimes so that this criminal regime does not dare to repeat such actions.
Pezeshkian thanked Egypt for its role in nuclear negotiations and praised el-Sisi's position against Israeli aggression. He invited the Egyptian leader to visit Tehran, expressing hope for strengthened ties between the two countries and greater cohesion among Muslim nations. According to the Iranian presidency, el-Sisi welcomed the recent agreement between Iran and the International Atomic Energy Agency, describing it as a sign of Tehran's goodwill and a step toward regional stability. He also reaffirmed Egypt's opposition to military solutions on Iran's nuclear issue and condemned Israeli actions in Qatar. In a separate call with Qatari Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Pezeshkian reiterated Iran's solidarity with Doha, warning that Israel, under the pretext of self-defense, was destabilizing the region. He urged Muslim countries to adopt a consistent and united position against Israeli aggression. Sheikh Tamim echoed these concerns, accusing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of acting without limits. He revealed that Hamas leaders were considering a US ceasefire proposal when the meeting was struck, and expressed hope for stronger coordination among Muslim nations to halt Israel's attacks.